It's Saturday evening. It's time to talk about the very best comic books in the world this week with a very bad voice. And obviously, I do have Drew with me this week. How you doing, Drew?
I'm doing fantastic, Wes. Yeah, it's a beautiful Saturday. I got some pro football going on today, about 3 games. But let's talk about the best comics of the week.
Before that, let's talk about the most exciting comic book of 2025. There's some things out there that kind of caught my eye. Solomon Kane, we got Space Quest, Green Lantern Corps, Aquaman, Absolute Flash, Deadpool Wolverine, Ultimate Wolverine, Imperial from Jonathan Hickman. What do you think is the single most exciting comic book coming out in 2025 that you know of thus far?
What's going to have me grinning from ear to ear like an 8-year-old wanting to come back each and every week, I'm going to put my money down on Aquaman and Jeremy Adams. Jeremy has shown time and again with Green Lantern, Flash, that he is all killer, no filler. No panel, page, or issue is wasted or loitering with nothing happening with decompressed storytelling. Something exciting is always happening with his stories. It's as if a Michael Bay movie or a comic book where everything is non-flammable is exploding. I love it. He's revitalized Flash, Green Lantern, and Flash Gordon. He made Penguin a straight-up terrifying in his one-shot. Most of those titles will be in my top 10 for the year 2024. And when I think about the amateurish work that has been done on the Aquaman brand by Kelly Sue DeConnick and the knuckleheads that assassinated Aqualad, Jeremy Adams is, in my opinion, the only man who can repair the damage. If there's one man who can bring us self-contained Lord of the Rings style battles in the oceans with the deep or the krakens or seahorses and Black Manta, Jeremy's our cowboy. He proved his ability of repairing the Green Lantern in the shit show state that was in, thanks to Jeffrey Thorne. And I'm confident he can restore Aquaman to glory in 2025.
I'm with you, man. I'm pretty excited about Aquaman using aqua powers to fight aqua freaking kaiju. That sounds like a good thing. But what they've really done on this one, and I've liked a lot of the artists that he's working with. I think they've done a good job pairing him with good artists. I think John Timmons might be the best artist that he's worked with thus far. Not really the big name that he probably should be, but that dude is one hell of a talented illustrator. And I think Aquaman is certainly amongst my most exciting comic books of 2025.
I agree. And I think the only other artist I would say that was just as equally great, but he didn't do as many consistently, was his first artist on The Flash that he had. I forget what that gentleman's name was. Yeah, he was fantastic on his Flash run. But yeah, this is going to be with that artist, with him, put your money down on Aquaman. And if I'm wrong by the end of 2025, I'll call it out. I'll say I was wrong. But with everything that he has shown, his track record, this is going to be an exciting series. I'm calling it now.
If you had Drew's most exciting comic book for 2025 being Aquaman on your bingo card at the beginning of 2024, you win, because I certainly didn't have that. So it's nice to see people excited about Aquaman. Now let's talk about the best comic books of the week, starting out with the indies. G.I. Joe, A Real American Hero, 312, Larry Hama writing, Chris Mooneyham on art. Mano a mano, we get Destro versus Serpentor Khan. Really great stuff. Chris Mooneyham sells it through the roof with his absolutely amazing visual stylings with the art. There's also a really awesome G.I. Joe ninja team tag teaming with the Dreadnoughts to take on some cyborg mutant freaks from Mutant Island. Lots of fun to be had in this comic book and some really great action.
You're talking about everything that's happening. I'm remembering those pages. I'm smiling. I'm grinning ear to ear because this issue was action packed. On top of that, this issue was incredibly funny too. From Destro teaching Serpentor in the ways of updated modern warfare and technology to Cobra Commander working from his bunker while his dupe is out in the battlefield. So I had to admit this. Cobra Commander uses a 2-word phrase to describe someone in this issue that I legitimately had never heard before in my life and had to look up in the dictionary. I'm like, wait, what the hell is that? It's pretty damn funny when I looked it up. But and you know what? It's fitting for Cobra Commander to use a phrase like that. Destro, I believe, is the real star here, and boy, does he shine like his face in this issue, playing both sides. But it looks like he will be working with one side at the end of this issue. Which side? You got to read to find out. Yeah, Larry Hama and continues to kick ass and take names with Chris Mooneyham on the art. And this continues to be one of the best comic books on the market. If you disagree, well, you're wrong. Fix yourself. Pick up G.I. Joe, A Real American Hero.
A lot of indie publishers out there kind of decided to take the week off because it was Christmas week. Ghost Machine was not one of them. Definitely recommending Geiger #9, Jeff Johns writing, Paul Peltier on art. You get some great moments here with Nate, the Atomic Knight or whatever. You've got this small town that's basically been spared by the nuclear fallout. Finally, the King's Court has figured out where he is, and it feels like they get the drop on Geiger. And then Nate, the Atomic Knight, shows up, does the right thing, saves his butt, and then Geiger kind of loses it, can't control himself, almost kills him in the process, and there's a save by a character I wasn't expecting it from. Really exciting stuff here. Can't wait for Gary Frank to return, but Geiger is definitely moving forward and ahead. And at the end, we see there are lots of different people after this guy, most notably Junkyard Joe.
Yeah. We only get Gary Frank for a couple pages in this in the back, which was kind of disappointing. But regardless, it's still a strong recommend. This issue is straight up balls to the walls action. Geiger is about to completely lose it, like you said in this issue, which could be catastrophic for everyone around him, including all the innocent kids he's trying to save. But will Geiger cool off and regain control? You got to read to find out. Not going to say what happens. But like you said, the other cool factor here is that we're starting to see the title connect with a couple of the others. And I hope that happens sooner rather than later. And it's not we're not finally going to get it at the end of 2025, because what they're teasing here, I'm like, I want this now. Paul Pelletier does a great job with the action and the horror, but hey, I want more Gary Frank. It's still a recommend.
Absolutely. Ghost Machine on fire, kicking ass, taking names this week, because they've also got Redcoat #8, Jeff Johns writing, Brian Hitch on art. This is a one-shot, pretty fun story with I think it's the Pearson family from Kansas. The Bender family. This family of serial killers. They were never brought to justice. We find out what really happened, at least in the Redcoat version of the history of the world. He's the one that ended up taking care of the problem. And while the story itself is very grotesque, and what this family is doing and the way that they're duping these men and all this stuff is all horrendous. Seeming Simon Pure lose his mind and start like taking these people out, I thought was funny. I enjoyed it a lot, but I do have a sick sense of humor.
No, I enjoyed this as well. So first thing I got to say is called it, because several issues ago, I said that with the introduction of Johnny Appleseed, we could get other famous characters of American folklore like Pecos Bill or Paul Bunyan. And who does Simon Pure name drop after doing a job with? Pecos Bill, baby. I loved it. This has my vote for best of the week. I loved this issue. This issue opens up in 1873 in Kansas, and we have a traveler seeking shelter from the rain for the night. But before we know it, we've gotten into a full-blown horror story. But like you said, it's a true one. I've never heard of the Bender family. But apparently, they were a real family, serial killers in Kansas who murdered at least 11 different people, including children. But the weirdest part, they did disappear. No one knows what happened to them. And unfortunately, they run into Simon Pure. I had an absolute blast with this issue, and I was grinning ear to ear with the mystery, the macabre, and the action of this issue as well, and what's being set up for the future, which may include a certain nuclear-powered character. Art was amazing. So was the dialogue and pacing. Truly, in my opinion, the best of the week. I was an 8-year-old again reading this issue. Redcoat will be on my list for top 10 comics of the year.
I agree. Redcoat was really, really strong this week. Kind of a breath of fresh air, definitely changing from the status quo and the kind of norm, what they've been doing on Redcoat. Wasn't expecting a horror book. That was a lot of fun. But me personally, I think Marvel delivered the best comic book of the week. Hellhunters #1, Phil Kennedy Johnson writing, Adam Gore on our art. I've enjoyed this stuff with the Ghost Rider from 44 and Incredible Hulk. I thought it was a cool concept. The art obviously looks good with Nick Klein. Now we're getting the origin story of Romero, the Ghost Rider 44. Pretty cool stuff. They really set it up well. They developed the Nazis, how they're like demon monsters or whatever, and why he needs revenge in this one. I thought the Adam Goren art was really, really good. I thought it was sick, twisted, lots of fun, lots of origins set up here, and we didn't even get Wolverine, and I still thought it was great. I was shocked at how good Hellhunters was.
Yeah, likewise, I agree. I have to compliment Adam Gorham. I believe that's his name. Yeah, his art is incredible. It's action-packed. It's beautiful. It's horrific. Whereas with Nick Klein is very talented with the horror elements, the monster element. Adam Gorham, I feel, is a more well-rounded artist in drawing, whether it's like the technology, the weapons, the vehicles, the emotions. I feel like he's a better all-around artist, and I got to give him the highest compliments. Yeah, this issue was fantastic art-wise. He really capturing just how the actual horrors of war, as well as the monster horror that we see in this book. Philip Kennedy Johnson, telling a fun horror story here, fun horror action story, and it's really off to a great start with this World War II Ghost Rider. Yeah, he's no Danny Ketch, but hey, I mean, my opinion, he's leaps and bounds better than Ghost Driver and the other jackasses in the last 20 years Marvel's tried to sell us on as the Spirit of Vengeance. This is a good character here. This is a strong recommend.
Yeah, I was surprised. I knew I wanted to read it, but I wasn't knowing what I was going to get. I thought that was absolutely hot fire. Really enjoyed that one. That's our Marvel comic book recommendation this week. Let's move over to DC. We got 2 more books. Detective Comics 1092, Tom Taylor writing, Michael Yanin on art. The last issue kind of got weird with some of the social commentary. This one removes all of that once again, and once again, it's a recommend. It's a whole lot of fun. You got Batman and Robin out there. Robin realizing, hey, Batman, not only you're faster, I think you're responding to things faster. I think your brain's working better. And he's kind of trying to study what's going on there. Next thing you know, there's a secret organization that's trying to cover up kids being killed and drained of their blood. Also happens to go by the name Grail, which is associated with the drug that he took. Finally, Batman gets laid again. So that was a big change of pace as far as what DC is doing with the character. And there's a lot of fun things being set up in Detective Comics. And Michael Yanin, once again, continues to impress with the new art style.
Yeah, I was shocked by this issue. Yeah, Tom Taylor, much like Chip Zdarsky, when reined in by smart and competent editors and not under proletariat rants, can be competent storytellers. And this issue in particular was very fun and mysterious. Batman is, like you said, you see, he's moving faster, thinking faster, and feeling younger, thanks to that new wonder drug from that hot doctor lady. And naturally, being the detective he is, he wants to figure out the mysterious elements of it and where they're coming from. And yeah, they're not that good. Where we will see where they're actually coming from, possibly. And there were, Michael Janin, whom I've knocked in the past for straight up tracing Google images. Yeah, he's actually showing his work in this. His art in this is taking a step up. He is showing that he is a very competent writer. Michael Janin is showing he's a very competent artist here, and I love it. And Tom Taylor, he's telling a fun, mysterious story here with some solid action and dialogue. This issue is a recommend. Let's see if we can go 2 for 2 next time.
Hopefully he keeps that up. Final recommendation from DC Comics, Green Arrow 19, Chris Condon writing, Montos on art. I'll be honest, the first 12 pages or so had me a little concerned. All of a sudden became a little bit too self-aware. You got the police officer going, what are you, some type of lefty superhero, when she's talking to Green Arrow, and we find out why the dog's named Arrow and everything. I was like, well, maybe Chris Condon's Green Arrow is a one and done. Maybe it's not actually going to be good. It kind of removed all the funny stuff where he was like petulant, drunk, blowhard, talking to all these other businessmen. But then once they get in the building, he starts looking at the tapes of the serial killer and what's going on. Where could he be? Business picks up. And by the end, I was really into it. That last scene I thought was done very, very well.
Yeah, I was concerned the first several pages. I'm like, where are we going with this? Because this is a huge step down from the previous issue. But thankfully, it does pick back up, and it becomes more of an investigative comic and getting into investigating the fresh water, investigating water. It reminded me of Chinatown. That plot was very much centered around the water of Los Angeles. And yeah, that's what he's trying to figure out here. Is this water actually healthy, clean? Is it poison? Is it dangerous? But yeah, thankfully, we get to a very interesting cliffhanger by the end of this issue. It picks back up. This is a recommend. It's not the strongest. It's a bit of a step down, but it's still a very fun read for Green Arrow.
Yeah, quite enjoyed that one. So for a Christmas week comic book release, I think they did a pretty good job. I wasn't expecting much. We got 6 recommendations, and we have an Aquaman book to look forward to in 2025. I do want to say thank you very much to Drew. I want to apologize for the voice. It's totally going away from me here. Yesterday was even worse. If you're interested in Think Critical YouTube and supporting us, the best place to do that is on Patreon. There's a link in the video description. I could go on, but I need to stop talking.